to my right is Glenn, Chris, Mark, I'm National Chipping. We're Badger Republic working on the GaSuCo project. Our client is Patrick Larson. He currently works at the Royal Institute of Engineering in Sweden, and he created GaSuCo as a game that focuses on discussion-based learning and sustainable development that focuses on the interaction between players. Every year his game was played at a workshop, like a major part of the workshop, and it was attended by people from all across the world. And he was asked many times how to get that game into like remote countries such as Indonesia or the Ukraine. So he's been kind of wanting to explore the idea of mobile development for quite a while, because it is a problem getting a physical board game to these countries while he's not actually set up as a proper company. But he's also wanted to expand to like different languages. So, and he's also wanted to, because of the languages, he wants to be able to discuss the sustainability topic regardless of language in different countries. But he's also wanted to expand the knowledge base of the original game and allow it for levels such as like high school onwards. Then we'll now talk about the possible solutions.
For our solutions that we have, we propose on building an app for the game which is compatible with any of the following platforms: Apple iOS, Google Android, and Microsoft Windows. And another solution that we propose is to build an electrical device containing a touchscreen with the digital version of the game installed onto it. The reason for this is if the client wants to build their own system from scratch and choose not to use other systems out there. Chris will now explain the risks involved in the project.
Yes, one of the risks that involved in the project is that we are not technically qualified, and the solution to that is to upskill our knowledge, which will involve a lot of self-learning. Secondly, the final product may not reach the client's expectation. We can resolve this by keeping constant communication with the client. That's setting up like monthly meetings with them and updating them weekly. And thirdly, the project scale may get too big. We can avoid that by developing a product to be capable of running on one platform at the start, and depending on the progress through the project, we may expand the ability of the product on several platforms. Any questions?
Why don't you just do it on the web? Why make an app at all? There's no real mobile use case, and it's like a million times easier to just do it on the web so anybody with a phone at the browser can just get to it. Why an app? 3 different, God help us, versions.
The app was more kind of what his direction was towards.
But he can't tell, you know.
Yeah.
You get a nice website that looks good on the phone, which
we're mostly
is trivial.
looking towards the website.
He can't tell, and then you just write one of them.
Yeah. He was just kind of pushing for a single app.
Well, is he an IT guy?
No. But
okay, well then just don't tell it. No.
Yeah,
maybe part of what you can do as client support is to explain the difference between a native app that runs on the phone and a website that runs in the browser on the phone, and explain how anybody in the world could get this website without, that talk.
We have to do that on the next meeting. The game itself is like four players, spinner, set of cards, discussion cards, and it is, a lot of this game is discussion. It's not just winning, but it does promote massive discussions. I mean, we're talking about sustainability, like discussions in different countries, and it is fun if you know the content. And like that was like we had a test here at Polytech about the other day, about a week ago. And they got a bit lost in just the general confusion of the game itself, because it is a lot of card movement. So we're hoping our app will actually handle all that for it, so it takes away that. And then all that's left is actually just the cards themselves, which they recommended they wanted in context of New Zealand, because they're kind of aimed at Sweden. So, yeah.
Is it free or does he want to sell it?
We haven't really talked about that. I'm guessing he wants to sell it, but
Also, probably around $80. The actual game. Willing to make. So like, we definitely want something that reduces the cost. So like, of course he's not registered to any company to make this game for people to learn about sustainability. So there's definitely he wants to sell. But then of course he wants to sell. He wants to manufacture it cheaper, reducing the cost for it.
You require new graphics for that in the company. Is the kind of project that would benefit from collaboration with design students? They've got all the graphics already.
it's not very complicated graphics. Graphics are kind of already there.
It's more like
But
Yes,
yes,
say yes.
it's so like, there's so many packs. There's not many graphics involved because it's a discussion game. It's not like
So there's not many graphics involved, but means you have to know sort of graphics because there's not, you have to nail it, there's not much there.
but then like game flow is quite difficult about the card movement because like if you don't look at the instruction, because the guys that they were playing in like yeah, and then like those guys were pretty lost, and then like even the instruction wasn't very clear. They involved a lot of because like the instruction was written in Swedish and then translated in English. And then even though like after the guys read the instruction, they don't know how it's supposed to go, how the game flow is supposed to be set, or like they don't even know how to initially set in the game with which card goes. But they actually explain to them the person. To achieve, I think the major issue of the game on the board is the card movement. We can simplify that, reduce the confusion.
One of the things design students are especially good at is communicating visually. That's why it's called communication design. I can imagine that this would benefit very much from a design student, not just to draw the pictures, but to talk about how to present the information in the.
I'm thinking about interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was pretty happy with. He understood that by putting this onto a mobile, there would have to be changes. He was completely fine with any sort of changes that we just ran past him, but he was fine with us trying to make a better game out of this.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on. Thank you very much.